Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs. Yeah, Cabby, Taj.
What's going on, Sports City? It's your boy Sirius back with another edition of Finger Foods, and exclusive here on Sports City Chefs, the network, and SportsCityChefs.com. As I customly say before we get started, if you're not currently a subscriber, I would definitely urge you guys to become a subscriber by hitting that post notification and that bell and being notified every time we post. We're also on a plethora of different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you like the content that we bring to you on a regular basis, I would definitely urge you guys to jump over to our social media platforms and interact with us and kind of talk about sports along with us. Those of you guys that know me know I pull no punches, I spare no feelings, and I shoot straight from the hip. These thoughts and these feelings are those of my own and do not represent the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, and Sports City Chefs as a company. I wish I knew where to start with that performance on Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. As you would expect, I'm very, very furious. I'm furious for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, obviously the outcome did not go anywhere close to what I wanted and I expected. But the Pittsburgh Steelers team, the team that I love, grew up watching, raising my son to love, literally went into Paul Brown Stadium and just took it. They bent over and they just took it. And I'm literally disgusted with what I saw. There was no fight. There was no heart. There was no commitment to detail. From the first man to the last man on the bench. I even think the water boy didn't, mix the water, the Gatorade correctly. It was that bad. We struggled to generate pressure on the defense side of the football. We couldn't run it. We couldn't throw it on the offensive side of the football. It was just bad all the way around. After the game, as I customly do, I listened to the post-game remarks from the players, and I think Big Ben said it best. There's really not much that need be said. What was on tape was now on tape. There's not a big hoopla, rah-rah meeting that needs to be had. We just got to roll our sleeves up and go back to work. But I asked this question. How? What do we actually do? Over the past 2 weeks, we have given up a total of 70 plus points and over 500 and some change on the ground. That's not Pittsburgh Steelers football. Joe Mixon ran the ball for 28 times for 165 yards. And if the game was not called, he would still be running to this day. There was no gap assignments, or gap integrity, or gap discipline. Joe Mixon went wherever the hell he wanted, whenever he wanted to get there. On critical third downs, we didn't generate too much pressure at all. Joe Burrow is back there doing his taxes, picking his nose, and throwing dimes and darts to his receivers at will. I'm not trying to hear nothing about Joe Hayden being out. I don't give a damn. Pierre was got the call, and unfortunately, He didn't answer the bell. TJ Watt, came back off an injury, was pretty much rendered useless. I'm sure he, drew a couple double teams and things of that nature. Once again, Alex Highsmith was a no-show. Devin Bush in the center of my defense was a no-show yet again. I can't count the amount of times that Arthur Millette and Terrell Edmonds were out of position and just made life significantly easier for the Cincinnati Bengals receivers just to run to a spot and sit down. Offensively, I want to say that's the worst we've looked all year, but that would be a lie. Offensive line got bullied. Anytime that Big Ben went to go throw the football, he had defenders in his face. Najee Harris couldn't run the football, generate any type of traction or consistency running the football. It's only by the grace of God that Deontay Johnson was able to do what he did. Further with 100 yards out of 9 receptions and 14 targets. So, as I said last week, he's going to get the targets. Chase Claypool, for as much as you want to talk about music and practices, how about you talk about catching the football? You had 3 catches yesterday. 3. You were targeted 9 times. Came up with 3 catches. A blade of grass needs to tackle you, but you want to sit there and talk about playing music and practices. Stop it. Go play football. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Well, 5-1. Another game this week in the division. We played the Baltimore Ravens, who need no endorsement from me or no type of setup needed for that. Arguably the best rivalry in professional sports. This Baltimore Ravens Pittsburgh Steelers rivalry. I like to be optimistic and say, hey, you know what? These last 2 games, these last 3, if you will, when you go back to the Detroit Lion game, was an anomaly. We'll get it right. We'll fix it. I'm not too confident in that right now. This is what I know. Last week, actually the past 3 weeks, DeAndre Swift damn near ran for 200 yards. Austin Eckler damn near ran for 200 yards. Joe Mixon damn near ran for 200 yards. And we have Lamar Jackson coming into our building on Sunday. I don't want to hear excuses. No excuses, no explanations, right, Coach? This is past cliche. This is past, it's gut check time. The standard is the standard. And, all that fancy stuff that, Mike Tomlin is, known for. If y'all don't get this shit together right now, Baltimore's going to make you look silly. Baltimore's going to make you look silly. And here's the thing, if you want to get technical, on paper, Pittsburgh has a better team. You don't have a Deontay Johnson in Baltimore. We have him in Pittsburgh. You don't have a Chase Claypool, Pat Freiermuth, in Baltimore. They do have Mark Andrews, though. I give them that. You don't have a Najee Harris. Their running back room features Scrap Heap from yesteryear. Their quarterback is throwing YOLO balls and is getting completed. Over the past of Lamar Jackson's last 2 games that he's played, he's thrown a total of 6 interceptions. All we got to do is be in position, and we get the turnovers. All we got to do is make the tackles that are there. We're not asking you guys to reinvent the wheel. Ball carrier comes your way, put his ass on the ground. Case closed in the discussion. I'm not too sure why this is being difficult. Coach Tomlin said that there will be resounding changes coming. There'll be changes coming to alleviate some of the issues on defense. And he said in his press conference on Tuesday that it could be subtle changes. It could be something minute, but it'll make a massive difference. Here's the thing, Coach. If we go out there and perform like we have been performing on Sunday, I need you to fire Keith Butler and anybody else who is associated with that defense. I honestly don't care, in my opinion, that Devin Bush is coming off an ACL. Don't care. He's in a hat. He's on my field. I need him to play up to par. With that being said, I thank you all for your time. As I customly say as I get out of here, if you're not currently following us on our social media platforms, definitely follow us, man. We got some stuff coming up that you're definitely going to want to be abreast to. In a couple weeks, I'll be doing a show with the homie TP Thomas and Barry the Villain Jordan out of state, man. So that's going to be fun. I'm very, very appreciative of the opportunity that this particular network has awarded me. But God bless. Hope you guys have a great rest of your time.
Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs, yeah. Cabby, Taj.